up and do my thing. I want to get into it, man, you know. Like a sex machine, man.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Sage Be Me podcast. As much as this is we're about to get cancelled, but we're still in the man cave, man. So today's episode will actually really be intentional, so intentional that someone will be wondering, I've never thought about that before. Do you have anything that you can tell guys before we actually start the episode itself?
You know, I'm very excited to record today. I'm excited because of several things. One, because it's a segment that's not really talked about a lot, and we get to talk about it today. So I think for me, I'm also very excited and I'm ready to go.
Yep. So guys, welcome to the Sage Be Me podcast. I'll be your host today, Sage Be Me.
And I'm Anonymous99.
And actually today's episode we're going to be talking about having fun. But what do we actually mean when we say we are having fun? Well, it's all related to how you're going to get the woman you actually desire. Like the image of the woman you want in your head will be helping you actualize that type of woman. But before we get there, we have to take you through hoops, and we're going to begin. So when I say have fun, out there you'll hear guys say men are the prize, men are the prize. Other women think women are the prize. Everyone's talking about being the prize and wrapping gifts and stuff. But we'll be talking about, are you having fun while doing whatever it is that you're doing? Like, when you're talking to that person, is it like when you're with the guys, it's a football debate where this guy is in Chelsea, this guy is in Manchester United, and people are just trash talking the other team, like Chelsea, man, useless. Like, is it that form of interaction even when you guys are bored? Yeah, you guys can be bored, but still trash talking the other team, man. Like, I think the previous week when did Arsenal draw or something? I think maybe it was a draw, or I think it was a draw because they were really, really down at that time. Then Man City went ahead and lost. Arsenal fans still were trash talking, even though they were bored. Like, is it that kind of interaction when you're interacting with a person of the same sex or the opposite sex? Because at the end of the day, you don't want to go back in the house feeling like, meh, what a meh day.
Yeah. You know, you need to be very, honest with yourself. You need to be authentic. You need to be true to yourself, right? You only do things that you like to do. And I think it's also due to social conditioning that people enjoy trash talking the other team, because they feel like my friend also like to do this, and the other people get riled up when you trash talk them. And so it's built up on experience and external positive reinforcement from your friends and blah blah blah. So it's one of those things. But when it comes to intersexual or intersex dynamics, intersexual relationships, in my opinion, I don't think it should be any different. It should just be the same version of you with a human being of the opposite sex. You never change your jokes, you never change your attitude, you never change your energy so as to try to attract or to appear attractive and to pull bitches.
Yeah.
It's about be the most fun you can be, whether the person you're talking to is male or female.
Yeah.
And in doing that, you generally turn up to be very funny to the opposite sex, because you bring out your best funny self or best traits, right, that you would show to your fellow mates. And now suddenly you're showing it to this girl, or and you're acting as if okay, don't really treat them like a boy, but like don't treat them
like special
yeah,
treatment.
yeah, because that way now you bring out the best of who you are. In many ways.
You actually said that. You reminded me. There's this girl. I think she's 6 feet. Yeah. To get someone 6 foot in Nairobi is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Male or female?
Both.
Yeah, true.
It's hard. The average height is it 5'11" below? Yeah. So we happened to have like this group where guys were getting there to interact with games and stuff. Then there's this mama who popped up. She's really cute. Her height is 6 foot and stuff. Yeah. So while we were interacting with her, something happened. Yeah. I started calling her Shorty. Like she's the tallest among everyone, but I kept insisting and call her short stuff. People started laughing. People started like, in every statement or situation that I saw it best fit, I started that short stuff. Like that's how they call you. They usually call you at home to get the thing at their highest shelf, and you're like the shortest person in the room. Like this made the interaction wholesome that even the short people started laughing. Like it made it so hearty that people like got like people, like how people just elevate around you because you have that energy, the energy like you having fun in it.
Yeah, and that's very important because you mentioned something that touches on two things. One, you focus on having a good time. It's not really about impressing the other person. It's not really about a set outcome. Like I want to, like I'm doing this so that I can get into your pants or anything. It's not about all that. It's about just I'm having fun. I like this. I like teasing you. I like your reaction to it, and I'm not trying to get like negative vibes. It's just all positive vibes. And also another thing is it's about being in the moment, having fun, and that's very important. How you put it, like it's like you were nagging her, and I think she reacted well.
Yeah, she reacted
really well. Yeah, because you owned it. You owned it. It didn't come out fake. So I think it's one of those things.
And one thing that I realized in that situation, that made me like really unique in the group, in the sense that people started making other jokes around, and it was like a fun moment for everyone. Because we started playing cards. Out of nowhere, I was like, "Be careful! The short person is about to peep in your cards." Because we're playing poker. Yeah. So like it was like really entertaining. It was like really entertaining. Yeah. But before like you start, someone has to figure out that at this point in time you just have to like take yourself step by step because you're not used to doing it. And at times you'll find yourself freezing. It's like you're approaching a girl for the first time. You don't know what to tell her. You have no idea what you'll be saying. So you're supposed to be patient with yourself until you get used to it. Because you'll find that you'll be going against the social norms. Because most of the time, the groups of people, like when you're with the guys, then you're talking about something dealing with women or something. Then a woman shows up, you'll be like, keep quiet. She listen to it. And if you keep talking at that point in time, you'll be like, this is not normal. Guys will be like, hey, this guy, he's breaking the rules, if I may say. He's breaking the rules. This makes you like very different as compared to like what's usually out there.
You've reminded me of something. There's something called shit test. Like a girl poses, maybe if she's really curious, and girls only should test people they find, kind of attractive. Or you're in a situation where you look kind of like high value, but they don't really know if you're high value, so they're trying to find out, are you actually high value? So they usually shit test you, which is like they try to shake your frame, they try to shake your world and see if you come off your seat. And maybe you're fake and you're pretending to have confidence and maybe you're not actually confident and blah blah. So they shit test you to find out, do you actually have these good values? Right? Are you actually a good potential sexual mate or even relationship mate? But something that's very interesting with what you did with that situation and many other situations like the ones you're saying about where you're supposed to be like to withdraw into a cocoon and not speak in certain situations, but then you actually speak. And this has happened to me several times because I have this thing where I have this very loud laughter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a cackling laughter, right? And I never stifle it. I never stifle it. Whether I'm with my friends or with the opposite sex, still my friends or potential mates, or whether I'm in the office or I'm in school or I'm in the workplace, I release the same laughter every time, everywhere. Doesn't matter who's there, who's with me or who's watching. Right? Mm-hmm. It's gotten me several reactions, right? And I didn't know this. Right? But what I'm trying to say about all these things is that it's like you're setting a shit test for yourself, right? And she'll appreciate it. It's like, okay, you didn't have to show your value by like responding to a shit test that was not even presented, but like, since you are showing it by answering a certain shit test, and you know that's actually a shit test in being in social scenarios where people expect you not to break the norm and to stand out by maybe being too loud or laughing too loud or commenting on height, and you know, like men are supposed to be very it's a sensitive topic, you know, height. It's like if the girl is taller than you, you're supposed to feel less of a man or feel intimidated, you know. But like the way you reacted ahead of time, it's like address an issue before it is brought up, right? Before she says, but you're too short for me. You know, you already started addressing it. And like you've addressed it how shit tests are usually addressed. So there's different ways you can approach shit tests. And I'm sure maybe we'll come back to this in time. But one of the three methods that I know and I have seen actually work is to exaggerate whatever vulnerability you have, either upwards or downwards. So if somebody says you're too old for me, you know, why are you too old? Yeah, you too. In fact, I'm like, you know, I'm an ancestor. You know, exactly. I can give birth to you several times and still, you know, have some change of years. Like, you know, so it's you either accelerate it upwards, so you actually own it, and then you expound on it, like in the form of a hyperbole, or like you go down the other way. You be like, no. In fact, I'm too, you know, like you exaggerate. You know. So it's like when you say this guy is short, you exaggerated in the opposite way, like it's sort of like a negative way to show. Yes, you're actually tall, but I'm going to be referring to you as a short person, and which shows you're comfortable with the fact that she's taller than you. You don't mind that you're shorter than her, and you're very comfortable, and you've brought it up in a social situation where other people are watching. So that means you're not only comfortable in yourself when you're alone, but you're also comfortable in situations where other people are watching and can't judge you. And that is very important. See? So it shows some certain attractive traits, and even if she hadn't considered you as a potential mate because she had not even seen you in the group of people, but suddenly you start saying that, and she's like, you know, who's this guy? It's kind of like, you know, piqued my interest. So it's kind of, you know, it's very good. It comes out naturally. You don't even know what you're doing and that's exactly what we're talking about today. It's like it's in game. You know, it's something that it's like a reflection of all your beliefs together. You know, it's like a combination of all your beliefs in yourself, in how the world should treat you, in how you should treat the world, in how the world should accept who you are. And if you believe certain things and you have very few or even no limiting factors or no limiting beliefs like, oh, I'm not good enough or blah, 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 but you believe that you're good enough and the world should be at you, you know, that you bake on coal and blah, blah. Maybe some of these things are what are they called? Delusional. But some of these beliefs, they come out in how you interact
themselves.
Yeah, naturally, right? Without you even trying. And that's in-game. And with in-game, it's very difficult to lie to yourself, but you can't lie to yourself. But over time, in-game becomes stronger and stronger. And it's like you start chipping at in-game slowly by slowly. It's like, say, for example, you're going out, maybe you want to go on rev, or you're going to a club and you're feeling low. So before you go out, maybe you go into the loo and you scream into like a towel or something. You know? And like, you know, it pumps up your adrenaline, you know. So you're lying to your body that, I'm hyped, you know. Or like you start smiling even though you're feeling bad, like you're sad. When you start smiling, your body suddenly reacts and your brain and blah, blah, blah. And suddenly you start feeling happier, even if you're not actually happy. So it's like you're cheating your system. But over time, that cheating will produce certain results, and these results will be external, and these external results will feed back into your subconscious mind and tell you that actually, you know, you're all these things, and the world has started to accept you. And so this external reinforcement and whatever internal reinforcement you want to believe will work together to build like a huge or a staunch in-game whatever, you know, like a facade, like a frame.
That's,
you know?
This frame is
exactly
who you portray yourself to be.
And you see, that's why people say certain people are naturally good at game. But you see, they went through this process at a much younger age, where they tried something and they got positive reinforcement from outside. People reacted well to it. And so their brain, without them knowing, at a very young, childish age, they realized, so this is how people react to this, and this is how people react to this. So maybe I should lean more and more towards this, and more and more and more and more, and suddenly they become very good with the opposite sex.
And you find that even that it actually helps you with social situations, in the sense that let's say you've gone to a conference, or you've gone to an event, a networking event per se. It happens that in that networking event, you tend to gather up, like you get to let me say like business opportunities. If not business opportunities, you get like a chance to be put in a position where you can further yourself in your career, because you have that in-game within you.
Let me say in-game is very important. You see, even for jobs, it's like before you get the interview, it's about your qualifications, it's about your papers. But after you get the interview, it's about who are you as a person. Are you somebody other people would like to work with? Are you friendly? Are you likable? It's very important that your boss is at your interview table or interview panel, because they find out, you know, can I actually work with you? Are there somebody I'd like to work with? You might be very good, but like if somebody feels like, no, this guy is very, you know, abrasive and rough and tutakosana, like some way through, like, no, you know. So they refuse you, and that's something I was told by a former boss of mine. He told me, interviews are not about how good are you anymore. It's about, do I like you as a person? Do I like you? Can I hire you because do I actually like who you are? You know?
Because at the end of the day, you're just dealing with humans.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I have come to figure out that human beings want to be comfortable wherever they are.
True.
So, if you yourself, you're not having fun in each and every situation that you're in, how would you expect like people around you to like to be there with you?
True.
So, there's this book that I read. I can't remember the exact name, but it was by Bobby Rio. He told us how he was socially awkward. He was actually told by his uncle, the guy who gets all the girls is that quiet guy, the silent guy who stands by the corner. So at a young age, he started acting like socially awkward, and this made him like creepy more than desirable. Because you can be that silent guy, but you portray this energy that's not creepy, that's wholehearted, that pulls people towards you like the moth to the flame. And this is actually something that at the moment he tells us that he gets invited to like those exclusive events because he actually changed his character from being that weird guy who's always silent to that guy who has this energy that people like around him. And it takes time, especially like initially when you start, you feel like you're not comfortable with this because you don't know, like, people rarely, like, how can I say this? People like want to hide themselves.
They do. They do.
They're like, I don't want anybody to know me. I'm a whatever. Because I don't know who put this on us or anything of the sort. You know, the image people get, like, don't let people know your next move.
Yeah.
Man, if I don't let you know my next move, how am I
Yeah.
going to, like, make it happen? I currently see, I'm doing, like, I'm doing the scholarship at ALX.
Mm-hmm.
These guys have told you, we're going to make you a software engineer.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't told me how they're going to make me a software engineer, but they're taking me through that process. So you find, like, many people are dropping out because they have no idea what is happening, what is actually happening. And this is something that makes people really agitated. Like, you don't
People
get
like the predictability of routine, of life. And so when there's no like predictability and they don't know what's happening next, they get very anxious, very nervous, and they don't, you know.
And even connecting, you fail to see the dots that you're being shown to connect.
Yeah.
Because, like, so that's basically the main reason why I'm telling you, like, let people know. Because for me, telling people that I'm a Bob guy really helps me. Like, people don't, like, have that much of a struggle or of a strain because they know, like, if I look left, maybe I'm looking for ABCD. If I'm looking right, or if I'm staring at this person and I'm with you, like, it's much easier for you because you understand what's happening to me. Yeah, what's fascinating me to look at that direction. This immediately makes people very comfortable around you, with you, and it makes people have that fun with you. Because how can you explain? I was just chilling, minding my own business. There's this friend of mine. She's an amazing woman. She gets a screenshot of a tweet, crops it, and then sends it to me. I actually didn't see the tweet first. I read what she had sent me. It was like, search for this girl, and when you see her, make sure you stare deep into her eyes. Then looking at the tweet was like, if you're in Nairobi, then you look at me. Then I catch you staring at me. I'll remove my teeth and let you suck on it. So she's like bantering me because of my treat. She's like, it makes everything fun and it's all lively. So at the end of the day, it comes back to, are you having fun? Because as much as this was like a bit extreme because it was talking about the tweet and we are very comfortable talking about the human body with her, even if it's not that, even if it's another thing, like we're going to eat, like people know I'm the chapo guy. So like if they want to kidnap me, it's like, hey, Tokia, we're going to eat chapo. You don't care where you're going to eat chapo, even if they're kidnapping you, you're just going to go. and that's it's entertaining, man. It's entertaining. So at the end of the day, how patient are you with yourself to get people to get to know you? Because you're comfortable with the person who you know, and the person who you don't know, you're not comfortable with at all.
Yeah. Another thing is, if something is natural, if it's a natural thing, because something like eating, something like shitting, something like sleeping, something like having sex, something like attraction, all these things are very natural. So your attractions are different from what attracts me. See, so the world reacts to your world how you perceive your world to be. So if you're very comfortable in what you like to eat and you own it, you naturally own it, the world tends to conform, you know? The world tends to conform. If you like githeri and you own it and like you're not ashamed of it inside, and the way you even express how you like it, how you eat it, how you feel when you're eating, like people accept you as you are.
Let me get you off a bit.
Yeah.
So it happened last week. I went to visit my brother.
Yeah.
So the last time I was there,
Mm-hmm.
they had cooked omena.
Mm-hmm.
So my nephews and nieces was like, Uncle Sage, Uncle Mash, Uncle Sage, you only come when we're cooking, we're eating omena. And mind you, the kids don't eat. It's just their mother who eats. Yeah. So she was the one feeling attacked. And it was just like everyone was looking for a pun in regards to omena. But it was so lively. It's at night. It was so lively. Like people were talking about omena until she got triggered and she was like, why are you guys talking about omena?
Personally, I also like omena.
Yeah.
And like I own it.
Yeah.
I completely own it. And that's the thing. As long as you don't feel ashamed in what you like, people like different things and no one is wrong for liking what they like. As long as what you like doesn't have to come and be enforced in my life.
Exactly.
Like, just like it in your own corner. Like it from your own house. Like it from your own room or whatever hostel you're staying in. And as long as we keep to these things, it's all good. It's all good. So, if the kids don't want to eat omena, they can find their own house to live in, which is not possible.
Yeah. So like you find another alternative. Maybe they eat meat or they eat something else at that point in time. So at that point, like guys were so happy. Even her reaction to it made it even more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you're attacking my stuff. This is me.
This is who I am.
Yeah, exactly.
What I like.
Yeah. So if you don't, then don't talk about my stuff like that. And that's exactly what happens to like when people are talking about football. Fine, we've lost, but this is my team, Bana. Don't talk about my team like that. Did your team beat my team? No, your team didn't beat my team.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. My team is the one who's out there. Like that's the same case that happened when Arsenal had only lost to Manchester United. People were talking about mtu Arsenal hawezi niambia kitu. Yeah, we beat them. No other team has beat them. Then we're like, koja tupatane.
The other leg.
Yeah, the second leg. Come at home, we see
how it comes.
So it came at home, then Arsenal beat Manchester United. Then Manchester United, you can't tell me anything because you support Manchester United. We've beat you. We've leveled up on points.
Yeah.
So like that's the whole thing. I think like that's even the basis of the whole game. If you're going for a girl who you ever want in long-term dating, a short-term dating, I believe it should be someone who you're comfortable around. And I usually tell people, this is like the foundation for me. If you feel insecure with the air quotes around, if you feel any types of insecurity, you're not supposed to be in that relationship.
True.
And I'll be constantly stressing on this. If you're insecure, she's too pretty, she's whatever, it means you feel that you're not enough.
Good enough, true.
And if you're not good enough, then why the hell should you put yourself in that position for not being good enough?
And that's the thing, you need to find your own clique. You need to find the people who will accept you for who you are. Even the women that you want to hang around with. I know sometimes maybe the kind of girl you want to hang around with is not the kind of girl that wants to hang around you. But then you need to find out if you really can't do without this woman and you really want them to be the kind of girl who wants to talk to you, then you need to find out what kind of man does this woman kind of, and conform to that, And if that's not what you want to do, then you need to also accept the consequence that this woman will never see you in a certain type of way.
Because at the end of the day, you're fine-tuning yourself to the person who you desire to be.
True.
And if you don't know who you want to desire yourself to be, you have to go there and find out. You have to be out and find out. So if you actually listen to the previous podcast, Lucy actually gave people advice. That one was on basis that you don't know what you want, and the only way you could get to know what you want, at the moment you know what you don't want.
Sure.
So you have to find out what you want by putting yourself out there. Get to interact with people. Get in different fields. If it's doctors you want to be around doctors. If it's go to key events, get to understand what happens here, what happens there, so that you can be like, I want this I don't want, this I want, this I don't want. At the end of the day, you will be improving yourself for the betterment of you, not the other person. True. And the best you is more, I can say this, is more useful to the other people than you, the current you, if I may say.
Yeah.
Because
and also another thing I've come to realize, you'd rather be, how do I put this? The very best version of you, other than a mediocre version of somebody else, because you might be able to offer more being yourself in your best form, rather than trying to be like somebody else, and I assure you'd never be quite as good as they are, or quite as good as they can be if they keep being authentic to themselves. So you need to kind of, emphasize on who are you and what can you achieve, and how best can you improve your own attributes that you already have. How best can you accept your vulnerabilities, and how best can you, like push forward with that acceptance and improve on whatever strengths that you already have.
So, like, in the next 5 minutes, I'll be actually talking about that in-depth kind of inner game, yeah? So, we've actually talked about the best of you, yeah? I'll drastically drift off to Amerix and Rukibe and one of my best mentors, Kevin Samuels. We'll be talking about this time they called it a high value guy. A high value guy, who is he? A high value guy, you can be high value in different scenarios, and you could be high value throughout. So you will be the one who you decide. If it's financially, you can be high value, and it takes time to build up. You just don't wake up one day and you're high value. You can be financially stable. You have people on your roster, if it's not a call log, who can help anyone and everyone in the field that you desire to be in. So if you decide to be a high value guy with women, you have to know, like, this is what happens when you're around women. You have to know, because that's another reason why I started this section in the podcast. There's this section where we have a panel of guys, where I think I released the episode this week. The panel of guys, there's the women and there's the men, where I'm throwing out these questions. Men answer 8, women answer 8. You get to understand this is the thought process. If you happen to have listened to, like, the previous episode, it was titled "Feelings Are Important Than Facts." That was derived from, while I was editing, the section where I asked the guys, are feelings more important than facts? Then people are trying to, like, put the link between feelings and facts and stuff. So it was like really, really like, my feelings matter, but then there's facts. But at the end of the day, like, we got to discover that when it came to the ladies, as much as they didn't quite get to express themselves well, for you to get to understand why we were saying, like, for me, feelings is 30-70. For me, feelings is 50-50 to facts. They didn't get to express themselves. I think the message they were trying to portray, my feelings lead me to look for these facts. But they didn't know how to express themselves there like that. Because facts are like constant. They don't change, come rain, come sunshine. But they were drafting in their rounds of, like, no, feelings come at times, facts are there. And the people usually say for men, it's like, we look at facts. But at other times, even men draft off to their feelings.
Yeah, they do.
And it's completely okay. Like, because you can't tell people, why would a man get angry and start beating other people for getting bantered? Because this bantering so much, I can't handle it, so my feelings take over. And it's completely okay, it happens.
Yeah, it does.
And people should be okay with that feeling of frustration. Because you can't be happy throughout. You can't portray this throughout. Yes, you can be that type of person who's completely stoic. But at the end of the day, something comes and moves you. And it's okay to be moved. that's actually the main point I was trying to draft to people, but because people, there's this there's this person who came and wrote these standards, and you don't know who wrote them, and it's out there, and you're wondering, like, this is how a man is supposed to be. I think we had an episode telling people, like, there's none, absolutely. Not unless, like, there is actually that extreme, but there's this boundary that you've put into your head, like, this is what I'm supposed to be. Forgetting, like, you can go outwards, just break the norm. You see, I think Al Nightingale was the person who told this. If you want to be something, or you want to portray some character, or you want to get a financial goal, and you have no one around you who's where you want to be, look at what people are doing, then do completely opposite. Fine, we can be having people who are 16, 17, even maybe, but at this day and age, you can't know who's listening to the podcast. This is an explicit podcast. For, I think, the lowest we can go is about 16 and above. But knowing Kenya, people much below that age can be listening to it. If you tell a teenager, look at what people are doing and don't do that, man, it's like you've given them a green card to continue doing what they're doing, because teenagers are the ones who like to break the rules, man. They're the type of people who get fascinated doing this thing. Because I remember when I think it was when I was in Form 2. So we've gone out for music festival. That was second time. And this is the time we want to buy a drink. Kakwata that time was everything. And since we were out, we were in uniform and we were in Chuka, we have to like look for someone to send to go to the store, buy for us, then we ganja him a little bit because of his hard work, air quotes. So like we bought two. We opened the first quarter, we took sips each for each. Then we were out of the shop. The guy I was walking with, I can't remember. I think his name was David, if I'm not mistaken. While we're walking, David sees this woman getting on top of this bike, and she's like, that woman has an ass. I hadn't noticed this up until he actually sparked that woman on the motorbike. And I was like, huh? Like, at that point in time is when at that point in time is when you want to be breaking all the rules. I'm not telling you to be that guy, but I'm telling you to break the rules in accordance to what you want to do, because that was completely inappropriate. I don't know if she liked it or not, because she looked at us with that face like, hao watoto wa shule hawa wanakuja kusumbua watu tu huku nje.
She was not into it?
I felt like it was that because she was like not like young. She was a mama. She wasn't like you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I get completely.
Yeah. I think that's the look she portrayed in her hands, her face, sorry, while the motorbike drove her away. Right. So I'm not telling you like to be completely unruly, but I'm telling you to be, if you want to make money, look at the people around you. What is making them make money? There's the average one. There's the average is like the norm. Like, this is how people are making money. Open a business, then wait for customers. Then there's the exemplary one who's making a lot of money. What the hell is that person doing? Different from the average person. And there's those who are not making money at all. So you look at what these people are doing and start portraying it to the higher percentage of people. And this actually goes hand in hand with game. Go to for us Kenyans, like, people say these Ndovi guys end up smashing. So what does that Ndovi guy do that is not normal with the rest? Because chicks complain, I've paid this Ndovi guy with M-Pesa, now he's texting me. Fine, he's texting you. You're not okay with it. What leads That losing guy, because he's completely shooting his shot. You reject him, you don't. He's shooting his shots. Shooting his. People talk
That's
about.
very important to be comfortable with rejection. He probably doesn't care because he's going to text a lot of people that same day. Another thing is he has a lot of time. He's just seated at the stage and
Waiting for next.
so he's giving your girl the most attention she'll ever get, and probably has enough time to think through his responses and come up with all this, like
So he's
sexy,
constantly improving himself
Yeah.
in his text and stuff. He's refining.
You can't compete with somebody who's put in a lot of time into any craft. So, like, say you also want to be a software engineer. I spend 16 hours a day improving my software engineering skills, and you spend 8 hours a day, 8 to 4, 8 to 5, right? Maybe with the lunch hour, so 8 to 5, 8 hours a day. You can spend all that time and think you're very good. But if I spend double the amount of time and sleep for only about maybe 6 hours and spend 2 hours getting to and fro, whatever I'm practicing. If I spend 16 hours a day and you spend 8 hours a day, of course I'm going to be, naturally, if we are on the same basis, the same capabilities and everything, I'm going to get way better than you're going to ever be. And it keeps getting worse and worse with time. Like after 1 year, the difference will be huge. After 2 years, it will be even bigger. So this person has enough time, seated there at the stage waiting for customers or waiting for Bolt orders or Uber orders, and he's talking to your girl, and you talk to your girl maybe twice a day. Your girl is going to get smashed.
It's the same case with conductors, the touts. Like they keep on shooting the shots. You walk by, they call you, they follow you, they try to hold your hand, and then they're like trying to game your girl. They're always doing this. If they find you attractive, they go to. If you reject them, it's cool. There's the next one. Like they're always constantly practicing that game. What about you? Like, what are you not comfortable about? What are you not comfortable with? How have you put yourself in a situation where you'll get better at it?
Yeah.
This is actually the same with business. You can call yourself an expert. You've been practicing the same thing for years and years and years. That's why you call yourself an expert. Otherwise, you won't be considered an expert, to be honest with you. Because when someone says they are an expert, it means they've been doing the same thing for a long period of time. Nothing else. Nothing else. You can be a pro trader. You've been losing for a long period of time until you got, this is what I've been doing wrong. Then you refine it. This is what I've been doing wrong. Then you get actually good at it.
Yeah.
And this actually, people usually say dating advice is business advice. So basically, you could take what we're saying here and slide it to your business if it's not your game.
I used to be really terrible at acquiring or getting positions that were up for, like opportunities that required me to go for interviews. I used to really not get them. I used to fail in those interviews. And at that time, I remember I used to be even better technically than I am right now. But I couldn't secure any opportunities, whether it was like student unions or blah, blah, blah. But then I stumbled into game. I think you know the story. And I stumbled into game, I think, during my first year, and I got better throughout my time during my master's. I mean, my undergraduate degree. It got better with time. And I can assure you, once I got very good at game, I was almost unbeatable at interviews. It's not that I went through, materials or books on how to pass interviews or YouTube. No, once I just got good at game. And the more I got good at game, I think for me it impacted my studies negatively for a bit. Not that I failed, but it kind of like my performance went slightly lower, right? Because I put in a lot of time into game, right? I got very obsessed. I was extremely obsessed. And I got really good over time. But what happened was, since I was spending a lot of time in game and in the field and all these things, is technically I was weaker than I used to be when I used to not get the opportunities that I wanted. When I used to fail the interviews, I used to be technically better. At whatever opportunities, whatever work I was applying for, I used to be very good. Right? But I never got the opportunities. However, I never locked down the opportunities. However, over time, as my technicalities went down because I was paying too much attention into game, but my game became very good, I used to get almost all the opportunities that were up for grabs. And I'm telling you, like, I think during my third year, I had this huge opportunity where, like, some of the people who were being interviewed were extremely more qualified than I was. And I don't mean that by like a small margin. No, like, they were way better than I was. But I had experience in game. And, like, at the time, I used to be very, very good at game. Like, it was like my in-game was on point, you know. It was like one of those things. And I can remember there was no interview I failed, and I got picked before everyone else that was up for the same opportunity, and they were better technically than I was. And so, when you say that point, I've never heard it before, but I completely agree. Right? Before you get certain opportunities, there's a certain threshold that you have to qualify for. Yeah. It's like, before you get called for the interview, you have to at least have a B+. If you have an A or an A- or an A star or whatever, well and good. That's fantastic. You're exceptional. But you don't need all that. You just need, like, the pass mark.
When you get
once you get the pass mark, you've qualified for the opportunity. Now you're going to go for the interview. And that's what happens for most jobs out there. Right? It's like they have a pass mark, and everyone who's above this pass mark will come for the interview. Right? Once you come for the interview, it's about how likable you are, and I think I mentioned it before. And you know, so if you have game, like, game doesn't just apply to the opposite sex. You game everyone. You game everyone at all times, every time, every day, every moment. You game everyone. So you go into an interview, and, like, there's no way you'd fail that interview if you're on the peak of your game. You know, like, whoever comes, man, you blow them out of the water clean. And so when you say that, I don't know, it made me very passionate, because I can attest to that by personal first-hand experience. It actually works.
Because remember, at the end of the day, we're just working with humans.
Exactly. And my father used to always say, you know, he always said this, it was one of his favorite sayings, is the most important resource there is in the world is human beings. It's people. That is the most important resource there is. It is not about currency. It's not about land. It's not about, they say the most important resource is human beings. If you can get to, like, manage, or you can get to have influence with people, there's nothing you can't do. You know, he kept saying this all through, he kept saying it, you know. And this was somebody who was very successful in his craft in the day. He was very successful. And not because of his technical, you know, like, these technical abilities, but he was generally, because he started out very late. He was not the kind of person who blew from go. No. He started very late. He came from, you know, village, came to Nairobi, and blah blah blah, and he made his way. Right? He made his way in his 30s, but then he made it extremely big. Right? But even because in his line of work, he was working with people, but, like, not so much. Yet he is somebody who always attested to, if you want to make it, and if there's a way for you to if there's any reason why if there's any reason why you should choose resources, you should always choose to be able to handle or to control the resource of people, the resource that people are. So it's very important. What you just said there was very important. It's like, game is not just about reproduction or recreational activities that involve the bed. It can be applied in the business world. It can be applied anywhere. anywhere. You can as long as you have game. It's like it's like a certificate. It's like a skill that you learn until you can apply it in any situation. As long as they are human beings, you're good to go. I mean, you can't vibe a computer, of course, but like if you're dealing with human beings, then you're good to go.
Yeah. Actually, I've never had someone say that. That was like mind blowing for me.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you'll find like a whole group of people. Like 90% of people go to university to get a degree for their parents, not for themselves.
No.
So you find that people just go there being like, this degree is my father, this degree is my mother, it's for my parents and stuff. Because there's this chick who I DM'd who actually talked, and she was like, no, I'm just studying IT because my parents they want me to have a degree and stuff. So while you're there, just go there and do it, because you're there to get connections, you're there to interact with people, because there's no place, actually I figured there's no place where you get to interact with people as much as in college or in college or in uni. There's absolutely no place you get a huge number of people to interact with like that. And that's how I figured that you go there not only just to acquire the skill. You can even go there and not acquire the skill for like actual skills.
Yeah.
You can go there just to interact with people, and you'll flourish really, really well.
Yeah.
As long as you know how and you're really comfortable in working with people. And like before we close up, I think we've actually like gone through. We've not exhausted everything, but we've gone through like a really good number of things that people should know. Before we round up, I was thinking we could tell guys like how they should put themselves out there and how important putting yourself out there is. A couple of weeks, I think the start of Feb, I was like, I want a pink hoodie. So I started telling people, if you see a pink hoodie, make sure you hit me up.
Yeah.
If you see a pink hoodie, make sure you hit me up. This is putting myself out there, because I want this pink hoodie. Whatever I want, the only way I can get it is through people. Or while I'm walking, I find someone selling it on the street. So while I'm telling guys I want a pink hoodie, I told like a really good number of people.
Yeah.
So last week, a good friend of mine actually called me. And she was like, Sage, hi, how are you doing? Guess what?
I saw a pink hoodie.
Oh no, I have no idea. What am I supposed to be guessing? I'm actually here in GM, and I've seen this really good pink looking hoodie. I'm like, chukua saizi. Chukua. Niko broke, nakufulizia. Just get it. Don't think about it twice or anything. It's something that I've been looking for. And if I hadn't put myself out there, I would never have acquired it. So it's really important for guys to get themselves out there. Come sunshine. Because even if you're looking for those job opportunities, you don't know it. It's like, let me not say 90. Let's say like 70% of the good jobs are rarely advertised.
Yeah. They're within circles, and in fact, another perfect example of this, because I'm seeing a certain lady, and she's in the human resource world or whatever, and she's in these groups where like most of the human resource officials within Kenya, the big ones, all of them are in the same groups. Now they form these circles, these private circles, right? And they share information amongst themselves. So these groups are usually very interesting. But then what I've come to realize is, even as they're advertising jobs, they say, please do not remove this out of this group. Please don't share it outside this group. I only want recommendations from this same group. So they ask for recommendations of certain job opportunities. And by the way, by the time it gets to these groups, it's not really about this is as public as they want it to be now, because they have tried within the same people that they know and within the same organization, but they haven't found. So they go to their other friends within the human resource world, and probably they're doing this within a very small subsector,
controlled environment. Yeah.
So it's not just in Kenya, it's not just in Nairobi, it's all over the world, it's all over the place. People prefer to get people to hire that they know, that people that they know and they hold highly in high regard would recommend or would know, right? So it's very important, that.
You've actually said that. You reminded me. Back in 2019, I used to I used to give this chick. Her name was Chantel. I used to give Chantel my Snapchat account to manage. At times when I felt like I don't think I can manage this week, because maybe I feel overwhelmed more, I have a lot to do. So I give her my credentials, she logs in, then she's tricking with people because I didn't want the streaks to end. So after a while, there's this chick who we was snapping with. Then I got her contacts from there. So it got to a point we organized a meet, her and I. Then while we met up, I was like, how comes you came and met up with me? She was like, come on, Chantel. She's Chantel. You get what I mean? And she was using that the way I've used it. It's Chantel, come on. It's a person that they know. So you strive to be a person people know.
Yeah.
And it's not a must you get known throughout. You could get yourself known in a controlled environment. People who you want to know you. And I think that's basically it. We could complete the episode and say welcome to the You Should Be Having Fun section. And there's so much on having fun. You're never going to get the grasp of it, because it's a lot. You could have fun, and at the end of the day, you'll realize how the world. It's everything steps down, the world stops, and watches you just slide in, move. Anyways, do you have any closing remarks you could give people?
It's been a very good session today for me. I've really enjoyed it. I've resonated with a lot of things that have been said. I didn't even plan to share some of these experiences, but it's something that gets to me, and I sometimes it feels like we're on earth to use all the information that has been gathered over time to progress, to help each other, to move forward. And whatever helps people out there is what we're trying to do, is what we're trying to share as well. So I think that's about it for me today. I look forward to sharing again next time.
And that's all for today, folks, and welcome to the Sage BME podcast.